Welcome to the simple steps to stopping customer complaints. It's really important as things hot up in your business, you get busy and you start relying on your customer service staff to handle customer complaints, that you have a really clear idea of why customers complain and take a proactive approach to preventing complaints, and also have a clear strategy on how you're going to handle customer complaints when they occur. So today we're going to look at how you prevent complaints, how you handle them effectively, and give you some strategies for doing so. There are 6 main reasons that customers complain. We're going to run through them quickly now and then in more detail. Firstly, they didn't get what was expected, someone was rude to them, they felt ignored, no one listened to them, they encountered a can't-do attitude instead of a can-do attitude, the service was too slow. So they're the 6 reasons. Let's look at them in depth. They didn't get what was expected. Well, firstly, we're obviously going to want to deliver what people expect to get. To help with that, beware of any misleading marketing material or sales processes. If you're in a sales role, make sure you summarise the sale by going over the key points at the end of the sale, so it's really clear on what the customer should expect to receive from this deal. If you're dealing with a complaint, also make sure you clarify what they expect at the beginning of the complaint. So you're wanting to clarify what the solution is and what they're wanting to get out of making their complaint. Someone was rude. Obviously, some people just push your buttons, and as a salesperson, you need to step back, take a deep breath, try and remember that the customer is always right, and don't be rude to them even if they are driving you mad. In some instances, it may be very difficult to not be rude back. But you want to show them respect and listen to what they have to say. You may need to tag team with another staff member if someone's really difficult, but if you can share it around and make sure you listen, then they're less likely to be rude. People feeling ignored will always get a customer's back up. I've walked into shops before and had the customer service attendants behind the counter talking about their weekend and just ignoring me when I wanted to purchase something. That makes me feel unvalued, don't need to be there, why am I intruding on their personal space, basically. So it's a really negative thing to do. Other ways you can make sure that people don't feel ignored is that if you're needing to update them on the progress of something, that you do get back in touch with them. Recently, a friend of mine bought a car that was supposed to be delivered on a Wednesday or be ready for pickup on a Wednesday, a new car. She was really happy with the whole process, but when Wednesday, Thursday and Friday passed and there was still no contact from the dealership, she felt really ignored and let down, and now it's going to be hard for that dealership to pick up their reputation as far as she is concerned. So even if the car wasn't ready, if they provided her an update on where it was at on the Wednesday, she would have felt more comfortable. If you're in a service industry where you go out and visit people on site, if you always arrive at a consistent time or a time that they can rely on you for, then they're less likely to feel that you're ignoring them and just taking them for granted. Same with emails. If you're sending out emails to respond to customer inquiries, try and be really consistent in how quickly you get back to people on issues so they know that they can rely on you. And if there's a bit of a plan that needs to occur, make sure that you're involving the client in the plan, let them know what the stages are, what the steps are, and keep them in the loop. And then listen to them. Obviously, people don't feel ignored if they feel listened to, so make sure you're showing some listening skills, which we will now look at. Effective listening skills include body language, nodding your head and maintaining eye contact. That's if you're face-to-face. If it's over the phone, you want to make sure that they know you're at the other end of the line and you are listening, whether that be through a few and commenting back to them. Clarification will help with that. Repeat back what you think the person has said to you. So if you can clarify back to them what you've heard, it'll also help you answer any of their questions or ask questions if you've missed the point. And it's common to make assumptions and not really listen, especially when we're in a retail environment where we might be selling lots of the same sort of thing. We're just going to assume the next person through the door is really just wanting that same item and not really listen to them. So try not to make assumptions and turn on your listening skills. A can't-do attitude is horrendous. No one wants to encounter that. We all want can-do attitudes. It's a gem in customer service staff if you can get people with a can-do attitude. So don't be saying, oh, we can't, we don't, no, we won't be able to do that for you. Think of what you can actually do. Think in terms of what you will do, what you have in stock, what options there are. Don't put it in the negative. Think about what you can do for the client. The service was too slow. Well, that's one reason that people won't go back to your business if your service is too slow. But one way that you can make people feel more comfortable that it is perhaps a bit slow, it's busy at this time of the year, is to keep updating them, maintain eye contact if they're in front of you, keep information flowing, and just be really honest. I mean, we're all people, we all understand if it's a busy time of the year, but as long as we are valued as a client, we're going to be less likely to be complaining. So we want to feel valued, and that means keeping in touch with us. If slow service continues, it's definitely worth talking to your manager about it, or look at the processes that are in place, because it may be something that needs to be fixed at a managerial level. So if we have all these negative things going on, we're going to have a really negative experience and impact out there in the world. So on average, those that do have a negative experience will tell 11 others, who will then tell 50 people between them. That's going to lead to over 60 negatives about your business. Don't fear, there is a way around this if this is what is going on in your business. But by proactively fixing those 6 things, those 6 key reasons that people complain, and wiping those out of your business, you're not going to have these negatives. But some will always sneak through. So if you do get a negative, see it as an opportunity to turn around that negative by providing a really great complaint resolution strategy. And there's some 6 steps in this one as well. Listen. When you're handling a complaint, always listen to what the solution is that the customer wants. We often will assume that they'll want their money back, and that may not be the solution. They might be quite happy with the product, there's just one part missing, or they just want to let you know that something's wrong with this product. So if you listen, they will usually tell you. And you can check with them that you've understood what their concerns are. Again, repeat back to them what you've heard, and they'll feel that you're listening then. Be polite and empathetic. Don't antagonise. Don't dig a bigger hole for yourself by having a go back at people. We want to be polite. We're in a service role, and it's really important to maintain that even in times of stress. Give them your full attention. If you're face to face with someone who's complaining, don't try and do other things at the same time. You're basically showing them then that you don't value them as a client and don't value what they're saying. So take them away from the main area of activity and listen fully to them, and try and sort out what's going on. Tell them what you intend to do and the positive things that you can do to resolve the issue. So what is it that's in your power, and if it's out of your power, don't tell them you can't do it because it's out of your power. You need to put it into the positive, things that you can do and you will do to resolve the issue. And provide a time frame that you'll get back to them in. Make sure if you're telling them when you're going to get back to them that you're making a note somewhere, or telling the person who also needs to help when that needs to happen, and then do get back to them. It's a really key thing to value your client's time, and if you've said you're going to get back to them at a certain time, that you do so, even if it's just for an update. And finally, check in that they're satisfied when it's all fixed, everything's been done the way they want to, because you're actually then clarifying with them that they are satisfied, and that's the end of the process. So in summary, there are 6 reasons that customers typically complain. We want to make sure we take a proactive approach by trying to avoid complaints in the beginning, but if you do have complaints, use a clear complaint handling approach. And you can get your complaint handling checklist from the HR Shed by clicking onto this link, hr.insidehr.com.au/online/training/complaint %20 handling %20 checklist.docs. And if you're not an HR Shed customer, why not check out the HR Shed? Thank you.